the NFL. Now, when it comes to we'll be discussing, I kind of got inspiration off of my last anime video where I ranked every single Demon Slayer core Hashira, and so I decided to break into three parts, the three parts I'm most familiar with. I'm going to be giving you guys my rankings of the top 10 NFL quarterbacks currently playing in the NFL. Now, it should be kind of obvious which quarterbacks are in the top 10. Now, if I were to do this probably with the top 5, that would be a lot more tougher to discuss. And trust me, I got 8 quarterbacks down easily, and then those last 2, I had to narrow it down to like between 6-7 different quarterbacks just for the last 2 spots, which are 9 and 10. So without further ado, these are my rankings for the top 10 NFL quarterbacks currently playing in the NFL. At number 10, we have Jordan Love, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Now, Jordan Love obviously was a second-round pick in, the 2018-2019 NFL draft, and they were basically kind of like saying to Aaron Rodgers, like, hey, this guy is going to be your future successor, and turns out it's true. He turned out to be Aaron Rodgers' successor. Now, I'll honestly believe this. Like, when it comes to, last season, I believe that Jordan Love had his best season. And now that the Green Bay Packers have drafted a wide receiver in the first round, in the first time in 24 years, Jordan Love looks to be set in what seems to be a very competitive NFC North. Let's not forget, the Detroit Lions are still going to be there with Jared Goff. The Minnesota Vikings may be a shocker with J.J. McCarthy, depending on how J.J. McCarthy plays. Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams is looking to take a step up. And this means the NFC North is actually going to be one of the most interesting divisions in there. But I believe that Jordan Love is definitely a top 10. And considering the fact that my honorable mentions were C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, and Baker Mayfield, it was really interesting to see me put Jordan Love ahead of those three. Trevor Lawrence, I want to believe is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But he needs to play consistently good. And he needs to just have a coaching system that stays there for longer than a year or so. C.J. Stroud had a very good rookie year, not a good second year. I couldn't put ahead of Jordan Love. And then Baker Mayfield, in that Buccaneer system, Baker Mayfield is elite. If Baker Mayfield can have another good year in the Tampa Bay system, Baker Mayfield will definitely be in my top 10 next year. But without further ado, my number 10 is Jordan Love. At number 9, we have the quarterback that just got paid $256 million. We have the 49ers quarterback, Brock Purdy. And I think this right now, I think everybody from 9 up until 1 has either made it to the Super Bowl or has a very good chance to be in the Super Bowl, which is why these quarterbacks are better than the other ones I had not ranked in the top 10. Brock Purdy obviously has made it to the Super Bowl, losing against the Kansas City Chiefs in about, 2-3 years ago? And now that he just got paid after being Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the 2021-2022 NFL draft, if my memory serves me correct, I believe that Brock Purdy did deserve this paycheck because no matter what you say, if he's just fit right in the system, some quarterbacks are just right in the system. Some quarterbacks will not survive in the other systems, and that's okay. We have good system quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield would not survive in any other offense than the Tampa Bay offense because it suits him very well. Brock Purdy is suited right now to the 49ers offense and Kyle Shanahan's offense, so that's the reason why it works so well. And people can say that he's just a game manager. Doesn't matter. He still got paid. He still took the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Even if they lost, he still took the 49ers to the Super Bowl, which other quarterbacks, that there are certain quarterbacks right now that are ahead of him on this list that haven't taken their team in the Super Bowl. So what? Brock Purdy's made a Super Bowl. Brock Purdy deserved to get paid. He was the last pick in the 2022-2021 NFL draft, and he took his team to the Super Bowl within the first 3 years. That's an accomplishment, and I believe that he deserved to get paid every single dollar that he got paid. So Brock Purdy is number 9. At number 8, we have the Los Angeles Chargers quarterback in Justin Herbert. Now, Justin Herbert, I actually believe, has a very good shot at being a Super Bowl contender within these next 2 to 3 years, just from the fact that his coach is now Jim Harbaugh. And remember, Jim Harbaugh was also coaching a team that happened to be in California, but the last time he went to the Super Bowl in the San Francisco 49ers. And let's not forget, it took him a couple years to get it. It took him a couple years for him to get that system ready to go. And now once I believe that Jim Harbaugh has the system ready to go, I believe that the Los Angeles Chargers are going to be definite Super Bowl contenders. But also, they're in a very competitive division. The Raiders are probably last place in that division, but let's not forget, they have Denver Broncos and Sean Payton, and then they have Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, the three-time Super Bowl winning champions. So yeah, Justin Herbert, he's a very good quarterback. He knows how to throw good. He's going to have a number one wide receiver. He's going to have a tight end. He's going to have all these things now. Now he has Najee Harris at his running back position, and with Jim Harbaugh finally able to set up his running system, Justin Herbert won't have to rely on Justin Herbert so much, and this will mean that Justin Herbert will be probably sneaky good heading into the 2025 season, but I have Justin Herbert at number 8. At number 7, we have the Detroit Lions quarterback, Jared Goff. Now, let's not forget, Jared Goff is a quarterback that's made it to the Super Bowl when they lost against Tom Brady back in, 2020, 2019, and probably what was one of the most boring Super Bowls I've ever seen, one of the lowest scoring Super Bowls. And you guys let's not forget, the Rams should not have been in there. The Saints should have been in there if that very obvious pass interference call had been played. The Patriots would have probably been playing the New Orleans Saints. And I believe that New Orleans Saints would have been able to put up a number because that was Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Sean Payton and Drew Brees are pretty good together, so they would have been a good one. But Jared Goff and that Rams, it just didn't seem well. The Rams wanted to really have a Super Bowl contender, so they traded Jared Goff to the Detroit Lions from Matthew Stafford. And within the first 2 years, Matthew Stafford won them the Super Bowl. And the Rams haven't looked back, and Detroit hasn't looked back because even Jared Goff this past season had his best NFL career year since he's been in the NFL, and he's almost 30 years old, so he's just basically in his prime right now when it comes to being an NFL quarterback. So I expect Jared Goff to do a lot better, and I expect Jared Goff to continue playing at an elite level for the next couple of seasons, which is the reason why I have him in my top 10 at number 7. At number 6, we have, come on, Joe Burrow. Give me Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the one really problem I have with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals is for the simple factor is that they tend to start the season slowly. They will lose the first 5 of the first 6 games, and then second half they'll take off. But now they paid their top wide receiver in Jamar Chase. They paid their second top receiver in T. Higgins. Now they need to perform. Joe Burrow's already got paid. The 3 highest paid players on that team are the quarterback and the wide receivers. Let's not forget, they got rid of Joe Mixon, and Joe Mixon ended up having a very good first season for the Houston Texans. So this is going to just prove that if this passing offense is going to work, Joe Burrow needs to play elite, and Joe Burrow needs to play elite starting off the bat. And this is the reason why I have Joe Burrow not in my top 5. I don't have Joe Burrow in my top 5 just because of his team starting inconsistent for the first couple of games of the season. I need you to start good. I need you to play good throughout the whole of the season. And the 5 quarterbacks I have above him have all played consistent good play throughout the start of the season, middle of the season, end of the season. So Joe Burrow is my number 6. Now we get on into the top 5. At number 5, we have the quarterback that's from Florida. We have the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson has, I believe, everything set to be a Super Bowl contender and possible Super Bowl winner. It just really needs to come down to the team and how he plays in the playoffs. And let's not say, when he played against the Buffalo Bills? I believe it was Buffalo. 3 turnovers against the Buffalo Bills. You don't deserve to make the AFC Championship game, and you don't deserve to make the Super Bowl, because having those many turnovers in a playoff game means you're just set to lose. So Lamar Jackson can continue to play good during the regular season, which he can, we all know he can. He's a 2-time NFL MVP. We all know he can. It just matters when it comes to the playoffs. You need to stop turning over the ball so much, Lamar. But without definite, Lamar Jackson is a NFL MVP. And I'm going to give you my criteria for this top 10. You either have to have a potential NFL MVP, Super Bowl, winner, Super Bowl made, or anything like that to be in my top 10. And even though I had Jordan Love in my top 10, I believe that Jordan Love is just the best of the rest that I had out of these categories. And even though CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels did win Rookie of the Year in both their first years, I still have Jordan Love over both of them. But back to Lamar Jackson, he is my number 5 quarterback. Now we get on to the top 4. And number 4 is actually going to be kind of debatable because he just got married over the weekend. Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, the greatest quarterback the Bills have ever had, has not taken them to the Super Bowl yet. I say yet because this Bills team is still built to be competitive. All they have to do is just beat one team in the AFC. Their team that always seems to have their number. They can beat them during the regular season. It doesn't matter the regular season. You gotta beat them in the playoffs. And we all know the Buffalo Bills have a hard time beating Kansas City. And this past year, there was no excuses. Josh Allen had the ball. They just did not come up in the end and not beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and Kansas City ended up getting their butt whooped by the Philadelphia Eagles. But still, Josh Allen is definitely probably the second best AFC quarterback in the NFL. And I just gotta say this, I'm looking forward to see how Josh Allen does. And I would really love to see Josh Allen bring a championship to the Buffalo Bills. Considering the last time the Buffalo Bills made it to 4 Super Bowls, they lost all 4. So yeah, Minnesota and Buffalo have the worst Super Bowl record with 0-4, with Buffalo losing 4 straight. So I hope Josh Allen does very good. He always puts up consistent numbers, consistent touchdowns, and ever since that he's gotten into this new offensive system, it seems to be really working well. And Josh Allen is definitely one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL as of this current moment. 3 quarterbacks left. Number 3, and I'm only having him number 3 because of the quarterback I have at number 2 playing better than he did this past season. Number 3, I'm going to have Matthew Stafford. Yes, Matthew Stafford, the quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. One reason why I have Matthew Stafford here, he's a Super Bowl champion. Come on. The top 3 are all Super Bowl champions. They have to be in the top 3. If you are one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, you have to have a Super Bowl in your name. And when Matthew Stafford was at Detroit, he was putting up consistent numbers, big numbers in Detroit. But then he got the move to Los Angeles Rams, and now that the system seems to be working, Sean McVay is going to have his system running well. The young defense is looking to get better. Matthew Stafford won't really have to put up a lot of passing attempts or passing yards that he really needs to, that he did this past season. And with the offensive line getting better, Matthew Stafford is set to have another very good season. I'm expecting him to throw a lot of touchdowns and a lot of passing yards. And I expect that Matthew Stafford, if he can stay healthy, will probably be in the top 5 passing yards in the NFL and possibly top 5 passing touchdowns. I'm not really sure, because I'm not really sure if I would consider Matthew Stafford a more passing yards type of quarterback or passing touchdowns type of quarterback. Because Matthew Ryan was passing yards more than passing touchdowns. So I gotta say that. But yeah, Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champion, played for 2 teams, did well for both of those teams, and he's just going to have a very consistent future, but he's at number 3 on my list. So at number 2, we have the defending Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, we have Jaylen Herz. Jaylen Herz, ever since he came into Philadelphia, it seemed like it was a weird system, because Jaylen Herz seems to be doing well in the way that Nick Sirianni runs this offense. And obviously with the tush push still going on, that this means that Jaylen Herz will consistently put up rushing touchdowns. But not only this, he doesn't have to rely on himself anymore running the ball, because he has one of the best NFL running backs in Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Not only that, he has Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and this offensive line that just seems to protect him so well. And anytime you're on a 4th and 1, 3rd and 1 situation, you know where the Eagles are going. You know where they're going. They're going with the tush push. And Jaylen Herz, with the offensive line, with those 250, 300-pound men in front of him, he's going to get him almost every single time. And this is the reason why they led up to the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley almost breaking the rushing record in the rushing year in the season. It's just so good to see for the Philadelphia Eagles. And Jaylen Herz is definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And I consider that the way he played this past season, he has to be at number 2 on my list. And considering that he also won the Super Bowl, it just shows to go, But without further ado, we all know who number one is. Number one is the greatest as of right now. That is Mr. Patrick Mahomes, otherwise known as Kermit the Frog Patrick Mahomes. And the reason why Patrick Mahomes is my number one is to be self-explanatory. It should be obvious why he's number one. Let's not forget that even though the Kansas City Chiefs got their butts whooped and they got mollywopped in the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes is still a 2 to 3 time Super Bowl champion. He's made it to the Super Bowl 4 times, or possibly more, if I remember right. I think it's about 4 times. Fact check me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes has always put a consistent number. I believe that this past season is probably the worst year that Patrick Mahomes has had in terms of passing yards and passing touchdowns, and definitely in terms of interceptions, because if we remember the first start of the season, Patrick Mahomes was throwing interception basically almost every single game, and then when it came down to late season, like heading into the playoffs, he was still throwing interceptions, but it wasn't as consistent as he was during the whole regular season. So yeah, I mean, it's self-explanatory. He's a multi-NFL MVP, multi-NFL Super Bowl MVP. He's a 2 to 3 time Super Bowl champion. He's made the playoffs basically almost every single year that he has been the Kansas City starting quarterback. And with Travis Kelce still being there, Andy Reid still being there, I still expect Patrick Kermit the Frog Mahomes to still be a Super Bowl contender, and I still expect them to do very well in what is going to be a very competitive AFC West. But without further ado, that is my top 10 for the NFL quarterbacks the NFL season, or as of currently right now in the NFL. As we go back, number 10, Jordan Love, 9, Brock Purdy, 8, Justin Herbert, 7, Goff, 6, Burrow, 5, Jackson, 4, we have Josh Allen, 3, Stafford, 2, Jaylen Herz, and number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. Thank you guys for watching this video, and let me know what your comments are in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.